And joining us as he does each month is District Attorney Scott Reilly from the 36th Prosecutorial District, which is Catawba, Burke, and Caldwell counties. And it is always good to see you, Mr. Reilly. And I know you have a lot to talk about. And you wanted to start off by talking about, I guess, something that's an unpleasant situation for officers to have to get involved in.
Right, exactly. Thanks for having me, first of all.
Good to have you.
Right, one of the toughest parts of my job is to review officers after there has been an officer-involved shooting. And as most of you know, once there is an officer-involved shooting, our office immediately requests the State Bureau of Investigation to conduct a thorough investigation, and that investigative file is turned over to us relatively quickly so that we can make a determination as to whether or not the officer's actions were justified or whether or not there was any criminal misconduct. And unfortunately, there was a case last week up in Hudson and Caldwell County where two officers were called on a 911 call early in the morning, very dark, and unfortunately a gentleman was going through a mental health crisis, but he did present a clear and present danger to the officers, himself, and to people in a home that he was trying to get into. The officers did attempt on two occasions to use non-lethal force to apprehend the person, but unfortunately that was not successful. And when the person came at them with a spear, they did unfortunately have to shoot and kill that gentleman. But we did, I think we received a thorough investigation. We reviewed the body cam, so we saw exactly what happened, what the officers were seeing in real time, and we determined that there was no criminal misconduct on behalf of the officers.
Okay, so that case is closed now.
That case is closed, and it's up to the chief when he brings his officers back to work.
Okay.
Because as you can imagine, it was very mentally traumatic for the officers as well. So it's up to Chief Blevins as to when those officers come back.
And we talk a lot about the danger that officers and their families have to deal with on a day-to-day basis when they go out, that their life may be in danger, but maybe not discussed as often as what they have to go through if they should have to take someone else's life.
Exactly. I can't imagine the mental trauma that they have to go through. They did not want to take this action. It was an absolute last resort. I saw them attempting to give aid to this person after he was shot. It was the last thing that anybody wanted. This person was obviously suffering a mental health crisis, and this was truly the last resort. The officers had no other choice at that point in time. September 12th is National Policewoman Day. I know that's passed, but it's still not too late to thank a woman police officer. Roughly 10% of all police in the United States are women, and I think that's about roughly correct for our police agencies in our district. We have women in all of our agencies, from detention officers to school resource officers, detectives, road officers, and the high command. And if you see a woman police officer this next week, please thank her for her service to our community.
And I'll have to remember to do that. One of my contacts in the morning that I deal with is a woman who works for one of our local agencies, and she's quite pleasant and also is always able to come through for us. So we appreciate what they do in every facet of what police have to do.
Right, and you definitely need to say thank you the next time you see her.
I for sure will. Scott Reilly, our district attorney in the 36th Prosecutorial District, which includes Catawba, Burke, and Caldwell counties, and he will join us again in October here on WHKY-TV News.